Good morning. I am here to talk to you about a subject that's actually very close to my heart, the environment, uh, because the environment is so important to all of us. And one aspect of it is this subject called bottom trawling. And bottom trawling has been destroying the natural resources of Sri Lankan waters. Um, and right now in the north, and I know even I think in 2011 even the church had petitioned the government to make sure that there won't be bottom trawling uh, situations in our country where the Indian trawlers are coming and they are cleaning our seabed so that we have nothing left for our fishermen to fish. So just to give you a little bit of insight into what bottom trawling is, I mean, I get YouTube has everything, but what bottom trawling does is it destroys the natural sea floor, every living creature, and all, whether it's plants, whether it's animals, even eggs, even life in the future is threatened. And so, catching fish, crabs, prawns, lobsters, sea cucumbers, all of this is affected by bottom trawling. And so these Indian fishermen are coming into our waters when we have very clearly demarcated, boundaries in the ocean where our fishermen cannot go into Indian waters and Indian fishermen cannot come into our waters. And there are agreements between our two governments that we will not violate this, but it seems to be a violation on a daily basis. And so our fishermen have reached out to us, with the foundation, to do something about this, because none of the government departments or political parties who should be doing something about it have done anything about it. So therefore we have been reached out to by the people from the north and the east, and so here we are trying to get the government to do something. Whether it's the Minister of Fisheries who's accountable, the secretaries to the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, you're accountable, the Director General of the Coast Guard, of the Department of the Coast Guard, should be kind of making sure that these Indian trawlers don't come into our waters, Commander of the Sri Lankan Navy. But what I've heard is that even if they try to do their job, they're not allowed to do it because of political influence or government intervening and saying, oh, let them do whatever they want, which is not on. Our people need to be protected. And something that I have been really thinking about is that I'm a Sri Lankan. I had every opportunity, and I still have the opportunity to go and live somewhere else. But I chose not to, because I love my country and I love everything about Sri Lanka. I don't think there's another country like ours anywhere. But what I have realized is that our own people are stabbing us in the back. No, honestly, to me, I don't see a government in this country. And the government needs to think about this. Why are people protesting? Why, even in my own neighborhood, there is a protest? Why? Why should people waste their time protesting? Because there's a problem. Some people think we shouldn't be protesting, but let me tell you, if we don't protest, we're going to be wiped out. We will not have a sea. We won't have a land. I mean, people are even cutting trees. Who has given them the authority to do that? Look at today. When I was growing up, we never fell sick. Even yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine. We never saw sickness. We hardly ever fell sick. But today every household somebody is sick because we have violated our environment. And similarly, this bottom trawling thing, when we can export these sea cucumbers for a huge price to infuse our economy, we are not doing it. We are stabbing each other in the back. When 300,000 families in the north, are suffering because of this issue, who should take responsibility? I think it should be the government. There's a book called Leviathan written by Thomas Hobbes, and it describes a world of unrelenting insecurity. And that's what we are experiencing in Sri Lanka right now. It is without a government to provide the safety of law and order. And a government needs to protect its citizens from inside and from outside, from foreign force and even, of course, inside. But when the foundations of a government should be to protect and to provide, what do we see instead? A government that is stealing, killing and destroying its citizens. So, I just in the weekend I was in a village in Gaul, very small village, unheard of village, and we were talking to the farmers there, seeing how we can help. And the teachers from the village school were telling us that every single day children come to school without 3 meals and they faint. And the teachers are finding it very difficult because they are taking their lunch and they are trying to divide it among so many children, and it is not possible. None of this comes into the media mainstream. Somebody has to take responsibility. That is our generation, our future generation. And what are we doing to protect them? We sit in Colombo and we think we are okay, when our own brothers and sisters and children are suffering out there. So I want to ask the government, what are you going to do about this subject, bottom trawling? You are reaching out to other countries for money to infuse our economy. If we can protect our own borders, if we can grow our own food, we don't need to be beggars going behind another country. We have enough of resources in this country to feed our citizens and to be self-sufficient. Why should we beg from another country? Those countries should come to us. In fact, they are putting their eyes towards us because they know that the more we give, more we borrow from them, we are going to become, captives of another nation, other nations. This has to stop somewhere. And in closing, I want to say this, what I have seen, that when you have corrupt politicians, when you have corrupt leaders, when you have people who kill and blood is spilled in a land, the land never gives its strength to that type of a leadership. So I want to say this, as leaders in the country, you need to look within yourself. What have you done? Have you provided and protected your citizens, or are you stealing? Are you stealing from them? Are you killing them? And are you destroying this nation? You have a responsibility where we are concerned. I am not a politician, I am just an artist. But I have been forced to come and talk like this. I don't want to talk like this, but I have to do it for the sake of the people that I meet in different forums and different parts of the country who are crying out to me saying, help us, do something. On artist salary you can't make anything, but we have to reach out to so many friends and people to feed these poor people who are starving. Even last week in Udawalawe, they reached out to us and said, can you help us? We are starving, people are dying. Come on, as a government, you have a responsibility. If you can't do the job, give us the job. We will run the country, because that's what we are doing. We are feeding the people, we are helping them. We are the government to the people. It looks like you can't do the job. You can't take care of your citizens. So maybe, if you give us the job, we can do a better one. Thank you.